Recording in progress. We're on, we're live, and hi. Day one, mentality, sitting down and um starting out with yawn. I think it came to me earlier that I wanted to talk to myself, me, us. When I'm like speaking powerfully to myself and speaking life and love over myself, I do speak to myself in like the third person sometimes. I always have. And I think that's like part of the feistiest part of me, which is the good is the good stuff. So I wanted to talk about mama manifesting, like mom festing. Like, no, it wasn't mom festing. Mama festing? I think mama festing. Because I do resonate with the term manifesting because um, but it's like the stem of that word is man. And I love JD and there are powerful men in my life and in our lives. Oh. I almost drooled on that one. But that was a juicy one. I want to like reclaim some of these words that are like the stems of them are rooted in masculine identities. So not manifesting, but mamafesting for me. Thank you. And it is all the ways I think that I've learned to claim and to step into my own abundance, like all of it that's waiting for me. So I've always connected with like pen on paper and writing. Recently I wrote out my grocery list for Costco, like actually wrote it out. That happened because I'm part of the digital fast um, that we've been doing, which was 3 weeks today, by the way. And honestly, it was such a breeze. Like there wasn't things to remember after a while. After like 1 or 2 days, the requests subsided and then ceased. Like they weren't asking to use the iPad. I feel like a lot of every day, the landscape of every day was, do you know where the iPad is? Where's your phone? Like, and there were many days in full disclosure, and this is another, I want to do like a digital fast discussion and like everything I've learned from reading in a Reading Rainbow episode, like totally. Um, but yeah, it's been just so refreshing to have that. Um, and I have to think about and have like our conversation center around where is this or where is that? Um, like we finished a glow in the dark puzzle today and we read about gravity and did little experiments. And again, like everything's really messy, but so mamafesting. So yeah, I've always paper to pencil. That was where I'm circuitously back to my writing down grocery list. Um, I use the app. The number one app I use on the phone is like the Notes app because it's like my stream of consciousness, stream of thoughts just coming out and I write them down. But writing is super powerful. Like with the books that I've written them out. This, I'm really getting after it with the yawns. Um, I'm speaking this into existence because it's not a writer's block, but some of the inertia to like sit down and write this book in the way that I want it to be. Um, there's some limiting beliefs for me around like making it perfect or having the right order or organizing it or having like an outline and then kind of speaking to those. And I want to challenge myself to get around the perceived perfection because that's not it. I'm an imperfect individual, and motherhood for me is messy, magical, and colorful chaos. And the mama tuition and trusting it is all about surrender and jumping in before you're ready. So for me, it felt really authentic and not even on brand because there's no brand, but like aligned to speak it. So that's why I'm sitting down here day one every day day one mama mindset type of thing, mama mentality. Um, it's 3:43. These people went to bed really late tonight, and Cord still has like a runny nose, so she's um kind of more clingy and had uh, extra diaper changes tonight. But so I'm somebody who, whenever I do have time to dream, like writing things down in a planner, it just gives me a lot of joy and a lot of encouragement and a lot of anchoring. I kind of feel like I'm constantly straddling in a good way. Um, the yin and the yang of gratitude, being grounded in gratitude for where I am and thankful for where I am. Like tonight, I just had this moment where I was standing in the side of our yard on the grass underneath the pergola, this beautiful pergola that our next door neighbor built. It's white pergola with vertical gardens. And I always wanted a living wall, and we basically have two living walls of like vertical gardens, all these little things that are growing out of these pockets, this like black, two black things with, I don't know, there's probably 12 or 20 little pockets in each of them. Um, and we have everything from red tea leaf plants and fennel and just little beans and a bunch of stuff thriving in there. And when we first moved in, this area was like barren and had gravel. And for me, gravel is like really hot and dry, dusty, and uh, devoid of green. And and then we have a slab of concrete, and there was a fence. I mean, there's still the fence there from when we moved in, but had imagined this like privacy created via greenery. And there are areca palms and banana palms and a new papaya tree and parrot heliconias and all these plumerias that JD and I, mostly JD, but JD and I had transplanted and propagated from the front yard into the backyard. And they've grown up over the past 5.5 years. And there's the most beautiful, luscious, jungly, different shades, hundreds of shades of green, 50 shades of green vibes back there, framing the little silver feeding trough polar plunge dunk tank that we have from Home Depot. And we splash around in that thing and we fill it up with hose water. And JD and I go in it after we work out. Cord, Camden, and Cruz love going in it. Like it's a little slice of everything. So I'm straddling that. And then also I think it's divine restlessness for what's to come, and feeling the courage and the bravery to take steps to make that happen. Like right now, our house is on the market. And I thought it would fly off, we were fully prepared for it to be like a super hot commodity, and for various reasons, whether it's divine intervention, that it's not that our time, interest rates, the cost of it. It's like it would be a jumbo loan for someone selling our first home. It's our first experience. It's not flying off, and we have extra time here, and that's a surrender process for me. So another thing that I wanted to speak to with Mamafesting is that not just writing it down, but speaking life over things as if they've already happened. So, because on like a quantum mechanics cellular level, I believe that connects me with things in my life. Like it sets into motion a chain of events, the way that I'll posture myself in the world, the decisions that I'll make, the way that I will show up will be in alignment with that goal. And whether it is that goal or some version of that, or a failing forward, as I like to say. I mean, I used to really live in a place of like, well, if I can't achieve this, or what are the steps, that I need to do this, or if this is unattainable, like, great, I won't do it. Although, I mean, I'm never back down from a challenge, but what I'm saying is I'm willing to fail forward. Like today, Cruz, I got a report from JD when I was finishing up a workout. They went scootering with him while he did a jog, and he was going so fast down a hill that he flipped over his handlebars. And I was looking at his like little legs and they're getting long. But he's so coordinated, but he has like little, contact bruises along, just showcasing like life and him trying things. Camden too, and Cord too, like living life abundantly and adventurously enough to have little trophy wounds on your body, showcasing your trial and error and the falls you've taken and the ways you've gotten back up. And that's Mamafesting. Like, I don't want to play it safe. I, something I learned and as a coach, and I'm really proud of this type of coaching, is that in like a wounded healer capacity, really, I always used to play really scared. What I mean by that is like I had some coaches who, looking back on my like soccer career, and I was a really good athlete, really dedicated athlete. Um, I played with a fear of being taken out. Like, I don't want to make a mistake and get taken out of the game. So competitive. I always loved to be in the game. When I was playing my best, I was playing with reckless abandon. I didn't care. Um, DGAF, type vibes. But and I did. I would get taken out behind making a mistake. And I vowed to myself that when I was a coach and I was in a leadership capacity, that I would create a culture of safety where the players that I was blessed, I don't even like I'm not into possessive nouns like my this, my that. The players that I was blessed to, get to know and be inspired by and lead in whatever capacity that would be, I would create a culture of safety to say, I expect you to make mistakes. I want you to make mistakes. I want you to play so hard and try new things that you're making mistakes. What I'm looking for is your character and how you respond to that. How do you recover from that? That shows me everything that I want to know. And that's what I'm watching. And I'm rooting for you and I'm here for you. And I started with these middle school girls. That's another thing to like talk about, that no one wanted to I mean, I don't say no one wanted to coach, but it was just like an intimidating group. And for some people, and I had journals with them each. I went to the dollar store. I'll still remember this day. I got like these little burgundy and light blue with flowers journals, wrote all of their names in it. And I said, here's journal. Sometimes I know it's difficult to like talk to your coach or bring up things. You do not have to participate in this, but I'm letting you know that if you give this to me, I'm writing it, I'll write back to you. It can be about questions about our team and soccer and playing time. It can be about life. And a good amount of these girls, we would write journals back and forth. And I said, I'll keep it confidential as long as it's nothing that needs to be disclosed. And from a medical background, that came to things like, of course, if there's concern for your safety, things like that. And it was beautiful, these journals. Um, Lots of Mamafesting going on even then. And so I remember sitting in academic half day. What is academic half day? It was the 4 hours a week of like respite care, I guess is maybe a way to say. During residency, where we turned in our pagers, we put them in a basket and no one could page us for 4 hours, and we got nourished with like Subway and food that wasn't that great. Um, they tried with the budget they had, but like, let's be honest. And the pager thing though was like not even great, because they just held the pages for 4 hours and then all your pages like stacked up for those 4 hours. So then it was like somewhat worse because you were supposed to get out and go home after, but only you couldn't because you had dozens and dozens of pages to return. But what I'm going back to is like, for those 4 hours, I would sit down and be listening, kind of, because there was like lectures for preparing for your board's exam, eventual board exam and board certified status, which I'm a board certified pediatrician, like past that. Past it, studying with a 1 year old and being in fellowship for sports medicine. But I would sit with this leather journal that one of my other co-residents had gotten me and just dream about trips and places to travel. And I still do that. Like, trips are my luxury item. Like, nothing against it, but I don't want to go into like the Louis Vuittons or the Gucci or those shops, like pass. Um, hard pass. But like I'll draw things I want to splurge on are getting photos of my family and capturing moments and creating memories together. Um, yes. And so I do a lot of mama festing around travel, and Passport Ohana, as I like to call us. And um, it's less about like the luxury of it all, though I'm not going to turn down like luxurious travel, but like one day I'm manifesting, I'll say it right now, like that we will be able to afford travel beyond the reef to, um, gain perspective on life and culture, and that we're so blessed we get to live in Hawaii, and on these beautiful volcanic rocks in the middle of the sea, is the most remote island chain in the world, quite literally. Um, but travel to gain perspective of what it's like outside of Hawaii for ourselves and for them, and to be able to travel in style, arrive somewhat rested. So business class, first class, like love that for us. One day I will remind you to tell the story about how we were business class once, while I was doing my doctor thing on a plane. Um, but manifesting. So right now I'm doing a lot of manifesting around my businesses. What I want for Mama Mindset is I want to create a continued oasis for mamas, prenatal and postpartum being forever. I want to create a ton of free content. That's what feels right and true for me, is sharing what I know, sharing what the experiences that I have, which I mean is decades of training medically, and now 8 years as a mom, 9 if you count like the year being up high. Um, all of it. I want to share it. I want to download it. I'm not going to leave this earth with it. So I feel like it is my duty, role, obligation, and honor and privilege to share it in any capacity that I can, and in any way that I can, to uplift and empower and inspire and create community with other mamas. I want to polish every single mama's crown that I get to meet. You guys truly are my mama celebrities. Um, that's it. And I want to continue to coach. I think time is a non-renewable resource. Not to think of it in a scarcity mindset, but time is a non-renewable. I've always loved the quote, time is the only, the greatest gift you can give someone. Like right now, I'm giving myself the gift of time to sit down and record this and tell my story and record it and let my thoughts flow. And I love coaching one-on-one. I just did it with a mama who gave birth within the past few weeks. And I coached her as her moolah. That's one of my favorite words. A mom doula. That's what I see myself as, and I am with many mamas in my personal life and those I meet. So I want to continue doing that in Mama Mindset with select mamas that I do coach one-on-one, create coaching communities around my courses. Right now, I am, 3 years ago, I filmed a sleep medicine course, and I'm right now getting it edited by a talented internationally based videographer. And I have a lot more courses in my brain power. One of them is a hospital home birth, because I really feel that I'm uniquely situated in straddling the world of Western medicine and being a physician, being a healer, understanding the care, the compassion, the empathy, the skill that our OBGYNs and pediatricians and neonatologists and labor and delivery nurses and postpartum nurses, lactation consultants, pharmacists, and everyone else who participates, social workers, everyone who's in a hospital, like how beautiful that is. And also the holistic in me, the power of the divine that flows through the mom, the way that women want to and have the urge, beautiful, God-given divine urge to tap into their own power. And I basically have had 3 hospital home births. Like I've had 3 unmedicated vaginal deliveries in the hospital. Of course, things can and do go awry, and that's, expect the unexpected in labor, but I really want to create a course around that breastfeeding medicine course. Just have so many ideas. So I want to utilize my platform with Mama Medicine to Mama Mindset. Uh, another one is Mamatrition, like the pediatrician in all moms, and just trusting that source and that mama tuition that you have. So I want to create courses. Speaking, I want to have hold retreats for mamas. And I want to participate in more speaking engagements and opportunities and open myself up to that. Um, so that's Mamafesting there from a Dr. Nini perspective, which is my name that I settled upon for writing books. I've always been inspired by Dr. Seuss. My favorite book is the Lorax. And I just the whimsical, deep meaning that he has infused in his writings has always touched me deeply. And I've always written in rhyme ever since I was a little girl. So Oceans of Aloha, and now another book that I have shortly coming out about Lahaina to honor the nonlinear healing path. As Dr. Nini books, I want to get to read those to Keiki, like in libraries and schools, and share it, and inspire and continue to have children be my teachers, much the same way as they are in my own life as a mama and as a pediatrician. They are some of our greatest teachers, and I love, love, love reading to myself, to kids. Like for the past 2 weeks, we've been reading these Sophie Mouse books, and Camden falls asleep, and I just finished the story because I'm so enchanted with these little woodland creatures and want to hear all about their adventures and read all about them and what like delectable bakery goods Mrs. Lily Mouse is baking up next. Like sign me up for her these like all of her creations, these maple apple scone tarts, and like yes. Um my favorite item in my white coat pocket for healing power was always a book. I learned that I regulated my own nervous system when I would read to my patients, and that it was a way we could bond. And again, sharing my love of language and words of affirmation. I had little board books that I would tuck into my pocket, and I would go read to my NICU patients who weren't visited often for whatever social reasons. Maybe the parents couldn't come in for they were busy with other children, or they were ill, or the babies were waiting for like adoption and other scenarios. So I would read to those babies just as much as I would read to myself. And from another Mamafesting perspective, I love this like juicy vulnerability coming. But just I'm somebody who's always held their dreams close to my heart because I felt like they were so big and so beautiful and so courageous, and so but also so fragile and so raw that if I spoke them into existence, if I said them, like, then maybe they would break, or maybe they wouldn't, that was me not handling them with care. And it's like, I just wanted to put them away on a little museum shelf, carefully curated in my own heart and in my own headspace. And I don't think that was wrong. But I'm just in a new place where no, I get to manifest them into existence, and I'm going to speak them boldly and vulnerably and authentically and genuinely and with all my big wild dreams out there. And I'm going to fail forward along the path, along the way. So, mama tuition, which is the word I love to use to describe a mother's intuition, I think it's written and sewn into our very DNA. I want to write that book for myself. It's telling my story. You know, mama mindset is me. Like it's me. Um, I am my own avatar because I think that that's the way I'm going to best relate to other moms, is relating to myself, coming here, speaking my story. And so I'm speaking it into existence, the mama tuition, and that's what this is. How it's exactly going to look. I've been uploading it to YouTube, just making myself just do it, upload, no editing, no scripting, nothing, nothing fancy. Like it's 3 a.m., 2 to 4 a.m. when I record these, when I get the pockets of time to myself. Yeah. So I just know this is the path, and how it will get organized or not organized is up to that. I'm just going to let it metamorphose into what it needs to. And then from Embrace Your Mana is an LLC that I started. Mana is like a Hawaiian word for courage, life force, how you relate to the environment around you. There's probably many more facets that I might not be giving. enough honorable credibility to, but it's a word that fascinated me and drew me in as I continue to learn more about the Hawaiian culture that I get to live within for the past decade. It's been kuleana, my responsibility to continue learning more. That's something that I feel deeply about. I infused some Olelo Hawaii Hawaiian words into both of my Dr. Nini stories out there and have parts at the end, and started learning, Olelo Hawaii from the very first day of working in the hospitals here. Um, and doing Hawaiian immersion preschool with my keiki and doing hula and just continuing to choose to pursue those adventures and learn more um, about this just diverse, exquisite culture that I am blessed to live in and around and practicing aloha. So, Embrace Your Mana is my LLC. I remember staying up late breastfeeding cruise, reading about an LLC, how to form one, how to do it. And so for the past 5.5 years, I started one for myself and one for JD. And full disclosure, mine hasn't been profitable yet. I've just been investing in it, investing in myself and these ideas that I have. But it profitable is a monetary term, profitable from a believing in myself, manifesting myself, spiritual expansiveness, like can't put a monetary amount on that. Can't contain it. But I've been, you know, logging on our hawaiitax.gov and keeping track of all of that and then renewing it every year. So we're in good standing with the state and just following along with that. But Embrace Your Mana is the parent company for how I will, it is my publishing company for the books, which is so exciting as I've learned all that side, not just to writing the books, but I recruit the artistic talent and I design the each and every illustration, the whole book, the book design, everything, and then editing the book and then publishing it, self-publishing it. So that's exciting. And it is also the parent company for Mama Mindset and running that. Back to Mama Mindset. I want to make here's like the fear creeping in, like, oh, what if someone else has the idea? And I think that's something else really important to bring up is like, I do think that people have the same ideas, kind of like the Big Magic Book by Liz Gilbert. But the way that I would implement it versus the way that someone else would implement it, it's not even a versus thing, but it's like letting go of that scarcity mindset because we each are meant to bring ideas into the world in a different flavor, in a different way. And that's beautiful and that's great. And let's celebrate one another. And instead of saying like, oh, wow, I want to keep these cards close to my chest because I'm afraid someone else will want to do this. Like do it, have them do it, celebrate them along the way. Um, there are so many waves in the ocean. The waves don't look at each other and say, you're also rolling in, you're also crashing onto the shore because I just did that. Like, you know, um, how many different cookie companies are there or cakes? Like, we love them all. They're delicious. So like, let's indulge in all of our ideas and taste them all and enjoy them all and marvel at them all. They're all great. So it's a continual practice for me to step outside of that mindset that kind of creeps in sometimes, comparing and like, I want to have this fresh, new, like radical idea. We're all recycling ideas. Recycling's cool, Jack Johnson said it, reduce, reuse, recycle. So, I want to challenge myself not to drop into that mode of scarcity, but instead to stay in the abundance one that's like, this idea came to you for a particular reason, and the way that you're going to execute it is beautiful and uniquely you. And let's celebrate and polish other women's crowns for the way that they have been inspired to execute a particular idea. So anyway, to that point, for Mama Mindset, I want to create Mama Milestone cards. Like I'm wanting to do it like humorous ones and just celebrating her, and so, and that's another thing. Other book ideas that I'm always having more children's book ideas, Dr. Nini book ideas that are popping in. One that I want to write about soccer and what it is to me. And then I also think like in my future is a women of faith, like title book. because my faith is very important to me and like my journey and how nonlinear it has been. Um, but how much of a core part of my identity it also has been too. I'm a deeply spiritual person. Um, and also one about us, I call it us schooling, like, every day, a large portion of my day, one that I relish in, that I enjoy greatly, is that I am a teacher. My children are my teachers. Um, but I'm a full-blown like homeschooling, us schooling, world schooling mom. Like I'm 3 years in with Camden and I'm loving it. I'm 2 years in with Cruz and then all the other ones. And so it's been part of my awakening as a human. It's all in line. It all makes sense. But I want to speak to that experience. And I want to speak out my birth stories too on here, like in depth. Because I revisit myself, the version of myself, the queen that is me, in the delivery room. I call it delivery room energy. I tap into my delivery room energy frequently. And I want you and all moms to do that as well. Like our delivery room energy is just like, ooh, that current of just extreme, exquisite chosenness and pure love and force and primal passion and power is like, that's the dust. We need that. So that's what I'm tapping into here right now. And yeah, it's all important. It's all divinely ordained. It is, I just made a note of the time limit just so I can go look back and make sure that wasn't like a accidental slip. Yeah, Mamafesting. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep downloading it. Oh, and the other one I want to just challenge myself to be really on here is that I am 42 years old, but truly I'm enjoying aging so much. Like I feel stronger and a more convicted and expansive version of myself with each passing year, with each passing month, with each passing week. And I am manifesting another baby. If that is, a privilege that is bestowed on me. I just feel that in my soul, in my heart, in my comfy uterus. I like to think of it as a comfy uterus. Um, yeah. So I think the big ones for me, just to summarize it from a mama's vesting perspective, are grounding in gratitude, really showing up in humble and expansive and humorous ways in my marriage, tapping into my spirituality and really nurturing that spiritual gem, moving my body, movement as medicine, getting to show up as a mom at every moment of every single day, being their teacher, us schooling, world schooling, homeschooling, writing my children's books, Dr. Nini, writing this book, Mama Tuition, speaking life and love over myself, speaking my story, believing that my story is worthy of being told, and that all the ancestors and all the women that have come before me in that kind of delivery room type of energy, like we get to deliver our story. Running my businesses, being a, being a boss babe and like just shining out with everything I see from Mama Mindset, digital courses, retreats, speaking engagements, books, coaching, all of it. And then with my books, my children's books, reading to them in libraries, giving it out like at everything from birthday parties to schools to just connecting in the magical realm of reading with kids, with children, Keiki. And travel, lots and lots of travel, having a home base in Hawaii, specifically on Kauai. That's another manifesting in this pivot of life, I know, from the magical island of Maui that has held us so well. So enjoying, savoring whatever time we have left on Maui and surrendering to that timeline, but knowing that Kauai is calling, deep spiritual calling, and the travel that is to come. So those are some of the manifesting and how I'm gardening my soul and how I'm challenging myself to stay open and vulnerable, leading with my superpower of vulnerability.